And Luke 14 talks about, it is the parable of the Great Supper, okay? Now, in this, he says, there was a great supper. Those who sat down at the table heard him say these things. He said, blessed are those who eat the kingdom of life or God. And then he said, a certain man gave a great supper, invited many. He sent his servant at supper time to say, to come all who are now ready. They were with one accord begin to make excuses. So they didn't want to come in. There was a reason for them. They made up all these different excuses. And then you drop down and it says, so the servant came back and reported these things to his master. And the master of the house, being angry, said to the servant, go out quickly. That's a word. Go out quickly. Go now into the streets and the lanes of the city and bring in here, this is the New King James, and I like this version. And it says, bring in here 4 categories of people. It didn't just say go out and get them. He said, go out and get the poor, the maimed, the lame, and the blind. Specifically, 4 different categories of people. And the servant said, Master, it is done as you commanded. There's still room. And the master said to the servant, go out into the highways and the hedges. Go out where they're visible and where they're hiding. And it says, compel them to come in. Compel them. So I was reading this and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is what we're doing. I said, we've got this mandate from God to go out into the highways and the hedges with a compelling factor to get 4 specific categories of people. That's why when you go out and you say, well, I go out and I feed the poor. Absolutely. Jesus said, the poor will be with you always. You will always have them, and they're the easiest ones to hit because they're hungry. They'll take your mittens, your hot dogs, your drinks. They'll take everything, And in Proverbs it says, if you give to the poor, you lend to the Lord, and God will repay you. And so the poor will be with us always. We're always going to have them, and they're very easy. It's wonderful. It's an easy evangelism tool. It's an easy thing to do. Go feed the poor. You'll get an immediate response back. You'll feel very good about what you've done, and it is commanded in Scripture, a compelling factor to go out into the poor. But what do we do with the other 4 categories? So I began to look into it, and I thought, well, what are the blind? The blind are visionless. They perish for lack of knowledge. They're dying. They're the ones who, everything works. Their mind works, their legs work, their heart works and everything, but they can't see because the God of this world has blinded their minds because they can't receive the glorious gospel because they're blinded. These are the ones that are in, all the places of New Age and of course New Age, but pagan festivals and different things like that. And they're just not God friendly. They just don't have any idea. They don't have any grid for wanting that to happen. So what do we have to do in order to get them to hear? They can hear. So that's why dream interpretation, prophetic word, anything that can begin to breathe light into him so that the God of this world will lose their mind. You give them truth, the truth sets people free. Do you see this prophetic spin? Then you've got the lame. Now the lame, they've got legs. There's just no strength in their walk. So the strength that they have to have, this is where they're walking in something that can't support them spiritually. They've got no idea. They're giving themselves to everything. They've been on all these different journeys and all these different, walks and spiritual walks and things like that. But they've really got no ability to sustain themselves or to be able to stand up. So there's a compelling factor with the lame. And those are primarily the New Age. They're the ones, and actually they're the ones who've been taken by philosophies, the university students, the ones who have had all this head knowledge and there's no strength in their walk. There's nothing for them to really hold on to because everything they do and everything they learn is going to fail. We actually had a friend of ours who was in school, in college, and he had a dream. And in the dream, one of his professors was trying to shove a snake down his throat sideways. And he was choking on it. And he said, this is what they're learning. Philosophies of men. They're learning all these different things that are just never going to get them. It's not going to be the heart connection, and it's not going to fill up their spirit because there's a God-shaped hole that nothing's going to fill. And then you've got the maimed. These are the ones that I think we're seeing more and more and more right now. The maimed are the ones who are unrecognizable. They've been through so much stuff, they don't even know where to go. They don't know who they are, so they don't know who you are. They are so completely confused. They have no ability to make sense of anything you say. So those are the ones that we get to walk with. The compelling factor is that you walk with them. They're going to kick your tires. They're going to check you out. They're going to test you. They're going to see if your love still is with them after they've done things to purposely try and run you off. Yep. That's the maimed. But in this parable, it was like Jesus was saying, go out quickly and go into the hedges, go and find them in the bushes, go find them where they're hiding, go out into the highway where they're broad and open about it, and compel them to come in. So that's what we do. And so with every group of people and with every place we go, we have to find the compelling factor. What is it?